Hey everybody, haven't done a video in a while. Um, we've had a lot going on. We've actually moved into a new house across the street from our old house, and it's been a crazy journey here in the past couple months with just closing on the house and getting a new house, moving in, and then on top of all that, I broke my foot in the process. So a lot been going on, but wanted to hop on here and make a quick video just to add some content to the channel. And it reminds me, if you like the videos, if you are getting any useful information from the videos, please like, subscribe, share the video. It helps a whole lot with just being able to grow the channel. And so just wanted to talk to you a few minutes about risk taking and just the importance of taking risks. When I first got started with real estate, I wasn't I didn't want to take a lot of huge risks because I knew that when it comes to any investment, there's risks involved in it, and with real estate, the risks can be that you if you have you have the air or heat or whatever go out, it could be thousands of dollars. If you have a roof that's needs to be replaced, it could be thousands of dollars. If you have whatever the case may be, it can cost money to replace these items. And also you can have a tenant that stays in your house way longer than they're supposed to without paying rent. So there's a lot of potential risk that can be involved with real estate and really any investment. The stock market can crash. I've lost money on the stock market. And so there's plenty of different things that can go wrong. And it's a lot that can go right when investing. And so, I said that to say, be willing to take risks, because I guarantee you that nobody that is, successful, none of them have ever been successful without risk taking. Those that are, the wealthiest, and I'm not saying necessarily that that's your goal, but if you look at the wealthiest people, they're the ones that have taken risks and been willing to do the things that nobody else wanted to do. And so it's something that you gotta be used to, get used to. You gotta be comfortable with risks. As I've been investing longer, and I've been, getting more real estate, more rental properties, dealing with more tenants and different things of that nature. And with taking risks, it's always risk involved. I don't care what investment it is. I don't care what, even working a job that you go to and you work every day and you think this is the safest way to make money. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not. Think about how many people get laid off every single day. Think about, how many people lose their jobs for whatever reason. Think about how many people, AI and automated things have taken over jobs. So going to work and working your job that you think is safe is not as safe as you may think it is. So there are risks with everything. It just is a matter of, do you want to own and have an investment that will be making you money from here on out, or do you want to trade your time for dollars, which is what most people do. They go to work, they work a job, and they trade their time for money. And the problem is you only have but so much time. You only have so much time in a day. You only have so much time in a week. So much time in a month, and so much time in your life. And a lot of people will, they'll work a job for the rest of their lives. Some people want to retire at 65 or 68 or whatever. And even if they can retire that early, how much longer do they have to be able to enjoy retirement? My goal, I just turned 40 in October, and my goal is in the next 5 years or so, I want to be completely retired and not have to work a job outside of my real estate investing and whatever I'm doing on my own. That's what I want my income to come from, and not have to work an outside job. I want to be able to enjoy time with my family. In 5 years, my oldest will be, my oldest will be 25 because I have an adult son who's in the Marines, and he's been visiting us this past couple of days, home from California. So, but my next oldest will be 15, and then my youngest, who will be a year in January, he'll be close to 5 years old in 5 years. So I want to be able to spend as much time as possible with my family, and trading my time for dollars. 40 hours a week, that's not allowing me to spend more time with my family. It's taking time away from my family. So it's a matter of, what do you want for your life? We talked about one week about goals and setting goals, and what do you want your life to look like in 5 to 10 years? So what do you want for your life? Do you want to be trading time for dollars, or do you want to take the risks and do what is necessary right now to acquire assets and be able to not have to be in the rat race anymore? What is it that you want to do? Also, think about with risks. With risk, you're gonna fail at times. You got to be okay with failing. You think about, I forgot what the statistic is, but Michael Jordan, I think he missed, 3 or 5 times more shots than he ever made. You just think about the hundreds, probably thousands of, shots that he made, all the time, just, one after another. And you see all those baskets that he made, but you forget about the ones that he missed. And there's plenty of them that he missed, even in his career, even when he was with the Chicago Bulls, and he missed a lot of shots. But you don't see those because you always see the shots that he made, the successes, the success stories. And what we tend to do is we tend to let somebody else's success story kind of outweigh our successes. And we tend to think, well, this person just started out and they're doing great. But you don't know how many times they failed over and over and over again before they had their first success. So you're going to fail, and if you take risks, you're going to have times where you fail, and you just have to keep going. And what determines somebody who's successful and somebody who's not is not an if that person succeeds or fails. It's when they fail, what do they do? And you got to decide for yourself, what am I going to do if I fail at real estate? If I buy a bad investment, or I get a bad tenant and they destroy my property, what am I going to do? Well, push comes to shove. I had a friend of mine tell me, said, push comes to shove, you have this property you can sell, and if you've owned it long enough, you're going to make some money, right? And so, you're going to make something off of it. You may not make a whole lot of money, but you're going to make some money. And so you just have to determine, I may fail, but what am I going to do when I do fail? That's got to be the question that you ask yourself. So, I just want to encourage you to take risks. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid of failure, because, it's going to happen. It's part of life. It's part of learning. It's part of growing. Think about your muscles. If you work out, the way you get bigger muscles is you tear the ones down that you got, and they grow back bigger and stronger. So that's exactly what it takes with, investing in your journey, with finances. And, I'll leave you with this: be a good steward of what God has given you. This channel, I'm a Christian, and this channel is all about not just, money and finances and helping you, get further in life, but it's also about, doing it God's way. And, God calls us to be good stewards of what He's given us. I believe that the reason that I believe God has called me to teach people how to increase their wealth is because, I believe that He wants people that are going to be good stewards with their money and be able to be a blessing to others. And that's my dream. One of my goals is to be a blessing to other people, not just to, get money and wealth. And, I don't want to, buy a bunch of, fancy cars and stuff like that. I want to actually be a blessing to other people. So that's what I encourage you to do. Even where you are right now, be a blessing. Bless people. Don't hoard money, and don't try to keep up with the Joneses, but be a blessing to people. So that's all I got for you this time. I hope you have a blessed day. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, we just celebrated Thanksgiving yesterday. Happy Thanksgiving, and see you guys in the next video.